G.I. Joe, fighting man from head to toe, on the land, on the sea, in the air.
Back in the 1960s, a toy didn't need Wi-Fi or a screen. It just needed imagination. Kids baked real cakes with light bulbs. Their dolls spoke with a string, not a chip, in a red frame with 2 knobs. Pure magic. How did something so simple bring so much joy? Let's revisit the unforgettable toys that defined growing up in the 60s. Number 1, G.I. Joe. Before we ever dreamed of superheroes, we dreamed of soldiers. And for boys growing up in the 1960s, no toy sparked that dream more than G.I. Joe. This wasn't just a plastic figure, it was your personal platoon. You didn't just play with him, you gave him a name, a voice, and a mission. He bent at the knees, turned at the waist, and always stood tall, even after parachuting off the porch. That scar on his cheek? We all had a story for it. And when his hands could finally grip a rifle, it felt like you were the one leveling up. He wasn't just a toy, he was a new kind of hero. They called him an action figure, and to us that made perfect sense. Because G.I. Joe didn't sit on a shelf. He fought, he led, and he belonged in our world. But not every kid wanted battles and bravery. Some of us wanted something warm, sweet, and homemade. And the next toy didn't come with weapons. It came with cake mix. Number 2, easy bake oven. If you grew up in the 60s, chances are your first cake wasn't from your mom's kitchen. It came from a toy oven, and it felt like pure magic. The easy bake oven wasn't just pretend play, it worked. You mixed powder from a little packet, slid the pan into the glowing chamber, and waited with wide eyes. Powered by 2 light bulbs, it wasn't fast, but that just built the anticipation. And when the sweet smell hit your nose, you felt like a real baker. Sure, the cakes were tiny, a little chewy, and sometimes half-burned, but when you shared them with your friends or siblings, you were proud. You made something all by yourself. It wasn't just a toy, it was independence, sprinkled with sugar. And just when we thought we'd mastered baking, along came a screen in a red plastic frame. No recipe, no heat, just 2 knobs and your imagination. Number 3, Etch A Sketch. There was something magical about turning those 2 little knobs. One hand moved up and down, the other side to side, and somehow your brain made it all work. You weren't just doodling, you were creating skyscrapers, racetracks, rocket ships, and sometimes total disasters. But the beauty was, it didn't matter. With one quick shake, poof, a clean slate. Mistakes erased, pressure gone. You started over again and again without fear of failing. That little red frame wasn't just a toy, it was a quiet moment, a test of patience, a space where your imagination was allowed to wander, pixel by pixel, line by line. And sometimes you'd show it off proudly, only to drop it a second later and lose the whole thing. We laughed, we learned, we kept trying. But next came a toy that didn't require steady hands or artistic talent. It just needed a voice and a gentle pull of a string. Number 4, Chatty Cathy. Before smartphones, before voice assistants, there was Cathy. And when she spoke, we all stopped and listened. Pull the string, and out came that gentle voice. I love you. Will you play with me? Simple phrases, but to a child, they felt real. She wasn't just another doll. She was a friend. Someone you could talk to, sleep beside, even confide in after a bad day. For some of us, she was the first voice we trusted that wasn't from a real person. Her ponytails bounced, her eyes blinked, but it was the voice we remembered. That soft, comforting voice that somehow made everything feel okay. Do you remember what your Chatty Cathy used to say? Drop your favorite memory in the comments. We'd love to hear it. But hold on, not every toy from the 60s was about talking or baking. Some were all about speed, wheels, and that unforgettable vroom. Number 5, Hot Wheels. You didn't just roll them, you launched them. Across kitchen floors, down bright orange tracks, off cardboard ramps. Hot Wheels made every kid feel like a race car genius. These weren't your dad's Matchbox cars. They were loud, flashy, exaggerated. Flames on the side, oversized engines, candy-colored paint. They didn't look real. They looked awesome. Everyone had a favorite. The twin mill, the custom Camaro, or maybe that mystery car you got from a birthday party and never let out of your sight. Scratches meant you played hard. Bent axles? Just part of the story. And let's be honest, we all blew on the wheels before racing. Did it help? Probably not. But we believed it did, and that was enough. Hot Wheels didn't just race, they roared into our memories. But not every toy needed wheels. The next one stood still until you made its head pop off. Number 6, Rock'em Sock'em robots. They didn't run, they didn't talk, they didn't even move until you made them. 2 joysticks, 2 blocky robots, and one simple goal: knock your opponent's head clean off. Red Rocker versus Blue Bomber, brother versus brother, friend versus friend. It didn't matter who won, okay, maybe it did, but what mattered most was how hard you mashed those buttons. The pop when the head flew up, that sound lived rent-free in our brains. It meant victory, glory, bragging rights until the rematch, and when the match was over, you reset, laughed, and did it all again. It was noisy, clunky, a little ridiculous, and we absolutely loved it. Not every toy in the 60s was about subtlety. Sometimes fun was loud, plastic, and totally over the top. But next came something quieter. A toy that glowed in the dark, one peg at a time. Number 7, Lite-Brite. Turn off the lights and suddenly, magic. A black panel, a handful of tiny colorful pegs, and one glowing bulb hidden inside. Lite-Brite wasn't just a toy, it was a quiet kind of wonder. You didn't need instructions, you just pushed pegs into place one by one, watching your picture come alive. A star, a rainbow, a rocket ship. Some turned out great, others not so much. But no one judged. It was your creation. There was something peaceful about it. In a noisy world, Lite-Brite let us focus. Slow down, dream a little. Even the hum of the bulb felt comforting, like your own little universe buzzing to life. And when you turned off the room light to admire your masterpiece, it felt like time stopped for a second. But speaking of quiet creativity, the next toy took that idea and spun it into something truly mesmerizing, with nothing but a pen and a few gears. Number 8, Spirograph. At first, it looked like a strange collection of plastic rings and gears. But once you placed your pen in that tiny hole and started to spin, everything changed. Spirograph didn't just let you draw. It taught you to marvel at patterns you didn't know your hand could make. Spirals, stars, flower-like loops, each one more mesmerizing than the last. You didn't need to understand geometry. You just needed patience, a little pressure, and the thrill of watching something beautiful take shape. Sometimes the gear slipped. Sometimes your pen went off track. But even those mistakes looked like art. And when you got it just right, it felt like you had discovered something no one else had. It was quiet, thoughtful fun, like meditating with a pen. But then came a toy that threw neatness out the window. It was gooey, smelly, and let you cook up your own creepy little creatures. Number 9, Creepy Crawlers. If Spirograph was neat and tidy, Creepy Crawlers was the complete opposite. It was messy, it smelled weird, and we absolutely couldn't get enough of it. You'd pour that goo, plasty goop, into little metal molds shaped like bugs, snakes, or spiders, then slide it into the mini oven and wait. Noses pressed close, watching it bubble and sizzle. Minutes later, you'd pop out a rubbery centipede or slimy fly and proudly show it off, or sneak it into your sister's cereal. It wasn't safe by today's standards. Hot plates, molten goop, fumes. But back then, that just made it cooler. You weren't just playing, you were creating. There was something thrilling about making something gross, strange, and 100% yours. But as wild as Creepy Crawlers were, The next toy was the exact opposite. Tiny, fuzzy, smiling wide, and somehow impossible not to love. Number 10, troll dolls. They were weird. Big eyes, goofy grins, wild neon hair sticking straight up, and somehow, we loved them. Troll dolls didn't do anything. They didn't talk, walk, or light up, but they had personality. Each one felt just a little different. Some sweet, some sassy, some downright spooky. You'd trade them, line them up on windowsills, tuck them into pencil cases, or rub their bellies for good luck before a test. And while adults thought they were ugly, we thought they were ours. Little good luck charms with big hair and even bigger charm. They weren't flashy or noisy, but they stuck with us in backpacks and memories and maybe even in an old shoebox in the attic. Because growing up in the 60s didn't mean having the fanciest toys. It meant loving the weird, the wonderful, and everything in between. We've just walked through 10 unforgettable toys that defined what it meant to grow up in the 1960s. They didn't need screens or batteries, just heart, imagination, and a bit of childhood magic. Which one sparked your favorite memory? Let us know below, and thanks for taking this trip down memory lane with us.